What's up, everybody? I'm going to show you guys how I lost $500 and then I won $1,300 to make my account balance up to $885.40. Beautiful. So, coming into the market today on NASDAQ and ES, the S&P 500 mini. All right. We came into the day, and I thought genuinely that we would take out the news non-farm payroll data wick, but we didn't. We came down, manipulated these lows, and distributed higher. Okay. Could have got in here. Could have got in anywhere in here, but I was playing it a little safer. I told myself today that I was going to come in and be more patient, and that's what I did. I was a little more patient today, a little more laid back. We pushed higher. We took all-time highs again, which are just pre-market highs. We took those highs and got some displacement lower. Okay, and here's why I didn't enter right here. Here's why I didn't take this trade and take it for like a 1-to-1, because I had a position tool there. I was ready to take this trade, but I didn't, because the pullback was a rejection of all-time high, right? And so oftentimes that will be a liquidity sweep. TJR, shout out TJR. That'll be a liquidity sweep, right? And so I wasn't quite as confident with this continuation. Now you could say, oh, we're all-time high, but that's just me. So I didn't take this, okay? Didn't take this setup. I'm going to give you guys exactly what I was thinking this whole day and how I lost, and it was kind of stupid. Then we push up higher, really a lot higher, all-time high. We chop around, okay? We start chopping. We get this closure, okay? No. Okay, yeah. So we're pushing up. We're coming back and forth. I don't take this, okay? Then I'm thinking, okay, I kind of faded that, which is good. I wasn't as confident because it was kind of a top tick. I didn't want to enter here, and for good reason. So I waited. Okay, then we get this here, and we make a new low. We create a new low, and we push higher. Okay, I got a little trigger happy. Not the greatest trade. Okay, not this one here. I'll move this over first so you can see this one. I entered on this candle here at 955 with my stops at these base bodies, candle bodies, thinking, okay, there's no way that we don't push higher here. That was kind of my thing. Not a great trade. Not a great trade. As soon as I entered, I was kind of unconfident in this trade. Sucked. We got yacked out by a tick, which does also suck, because if I'd had my candle down here, we would have printed on the first trade when I had to take a second trade. Okay, so we get ticked out, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm down 500. I could be done for the day, but I really do have conviction in higher price. And so what I do, I waited again. After this tick, we start moving higher again. And so then I'm like, okay, with this candle closure, I'm like, okay, this is more what I wanted to see. This kind of confirms to me that we're not going to go down into this 5-minute gap here. This is a 5-minute gap that we had created. We're going to continue pushing higher. ES had been doing so as well. So I entered here. Stops at the new low that I got ticked out on. I went in a little heavier to make this I don't even remember. I didn't even have time. I kind of entered and then instantly was going break even, like right here. But I held for a whatever because I was heavier, and made $1,300 on this. So I think it was a little farther up in here somewhere. But yes. And then that put my account to 885. That's kind of what happened today. I took 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win. And my wins are, normally bigger than my losses, like this here, to, keep you positive on the day, or whatever you want to say. But that's exactly the what happened today. I went in with 20 the second time because it's kind of more of a scalp idea. Now, the first one was 2, which is why I couldn't rock a bigger stop. And that's why I had to go to the body here. So I should have just went to the wick and been safe. I normally do. I don't know what I was doing. I was just confident. But first trade really was kind of poop. Second trade, I liked it. Not just because I won, but because we're putting in higher lows. Okay, we manipulate this low here and create a new low. But we with this kind of distribution back up, I mean, it's a what? We get a almost near 30-point distribution back up in this case, where we're just pushing past all-time highs, and ES was actually like right in here pushing to all-time highs. So it's like this is a safe trade for me, and so that's why I ended up even putting more capital on the table to risk because I was confident in this draw. And so, yep, 2 trades today, 1 loss, 1 win, and that's the day. That's a great way to end off the week. I'm super blessed, super thankful that I'm able to end the week green. Not that that's what matters. Kind of took a bad trade off the rip here and suffered for it, but then we ended up taking a better trade because I gave myself the room to take another trade here, and it ended up paying off. So I'm very thankful. Had a pretty good week so far. Kind of getting back to being more disciplined, being more, patient, taking trades that make sense instead of just taking trades for a P&L percentage, just taking small pieces of a pie. And that's kind of the main goal of what I want to get to where I can be super consistent and repeatable with my trading, to where it's like there's almost no way I'm losing an account because, and that's another thing. Like, if I would have just been a little more patient on that if I would have just waited a little longer, because I entered mid candle, and that's kind of where I went wrong here. So if you're watching this, that's kind of why that first trade was stupid, because I entered mid candle here and then it closed like way down in here. And so if I would have just waited for the candle to close here, but it's hard to, say, but hindsight's 2020, but I wouldn't have taken that trade if I would have waited on that candle to close, and I would have ended up just taking this one to begin with and made a quick $500 to $800 without having to take a stupid loss like that. So we learn from that. Be patient, and I think that's also due in part to because I missed 2 decent setups, or I missed this setup here, or I could have got in like right here, went break even here, and I would have whatever. But that's how I trade all-time highs. I wait on a pullback continuation and go for like a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2, depending if you're going to trail. But that's the day. I'll see you guys on the weekly recap.